Hi, this is Karen, Grandmother Dances in the Night Skies. Welcome to my channel. And if you have any questions, comments, if you want to check out more of what I do, please write in the comments. I'd be happy to help you out. And there'll be links how to reach me for other things that I do. I do private and in-person stuff. But having said all of that, I'm going to get on to the great teachers. What are the great teachers? Well, the great teachers, the information and the teachings come from the book Lightning Bolt by Storm. And you'll notice that you reference them a lot because that is the core of most of my teachings and most of my training. So anyway, having said that, let's go on. So the great teachers are the 20 great either emotions or experiences we as humans come here to learn because Earth is a teaching planet. And when we come here to learn these things, sometimes we can get the hard knock learns and sometimes we can learn easily, but we don't just learn it once and move on. We get different levels of it constantly because 20 great teachers and we've got a long lifespan. And there's a lot of times where we may be sitting in a whole year of one teacher. So is understanding what they are, acknowledging them when they're happening, and it does help the information flow a little easier. So if things are happening to me, I always ask, what great teacher am I sitting in? Then I go, okay, yeah, I acknowledge that I'm sitting in this great teacher, and can I maybe learn it a little bit more gentle? So acknowledging it is the big step, if you will. Unlike the earth count, which has a zero count, the great teachers don't. There's 20 of them, and we're just going to get started right off the hop. Number one is rage. Now, I teach it around the medicine wheel, but actually, the teachings itself, it wasn't taught that way. It was taught in number form. So I'm just going to teach it to you in number form. So, number one is rage. What is rage? Now, if you were to just think of rage and one word that comes to mind, I don't know, what would it be? For me, it was waterfall. I think of a waterfall, maybe a storm. Do you think of rage as bad or can rage be good? Everything has balance. So what is the maybe the negative side of rage? Well, rage can be destruction. Rage can be out of control. Rage can be scary stuff. But rage in balance in the light can be that force of nature that just washes everything clean, that moves that energy, really impactful and moves power. What is that? So own the rage. And when you sit in the energy of rage, try to spend a whole day just sitting in rage and understanding the differences in rage. Observe it in other people, observe it in community, in within single people. When a little baby is crying and they're just screaming, and you know how they just and they're just screaming as hard as they can, is that rage? And what is it that they're trying to communicate with us? Is it pain? What is it that they're trying to communicate? So pay attention to rage. There are so many different levels. And I love the word rage because if you were to ask 20 people, what is rage? Every person will give you a different answer. So know when someone's saying, I'm sitting in rage today, what does that mean to them? Because what it means to them could mean something totally different to you. So that's where communication comes in. I know my husband and I, we often talk about what great teacher we're sitting in, and then I ask for clarity. If you're sitting in that today, what does that mean to you? And just to understand what it means through his lens, not through mine. So that is rage. Number two of the great teachers is care, self care, care for others. Our actions cause problems for other people. We are someone's bad guys in their story. We all are. But can we have care for others as well? Can we have care for ourselves? Can we take care of ourselves and still keep the care for others in control? Often, people, me anyway, I would give care to everyone else and not care for myself. And then when I was caring for myself, I was letting others go. It was like I couldn't find that balance between caring for self and caring for others. And it's something that I've struggled with throughout my life. Receiving care is a big thing. Can you receive care? Can you ask others for help so they can care for you? That's a big one because us caregivers don't often receive. And if you're to think of it as a circle, on this side of the circle, I'm giving. Oh, I got that one down. But on this side of the circle, man, I'm not receiving so hot. So I don't complete that circle. If I can give and receive just as equally care to myself and to others, then I'm sitting in balance. And when I'm sitting in balance, life goes a little easier for me. So, like I said, this is one of my great teachers that I have been working with all my life. And I probably will to the day I cross over. The number one is pain. So pain comes on different levels as well. So pain can be pain, physical pain. It can be emotional pain. It can be pain on all different levels. Pain as in beating ourselves up. Now, for my power animal's name is Congo. And what he has been telling me the little one, last little while here is, are you done yet? Are you done hurting yourself? And I go, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I turn around, eat something that I know affects my body and gives me pain. And then he'll kind of shake that little finger at me. He's a mountain gorilla, and he'll shake that little finger and go, you're not done hurting yourself yet. When will you stop hurting yourself? So that is pain, but pain can be emotional. I can lock myself away from people, or I can be so aggressive that I'm in everybody's face. So, what does pain mean to you? And what are the different levels of pain? And write all the pain words that you can think of that reflect pain to you, both in the positive and the negative, because pain can be positive. Our body, when we're in pain, it's telling us something's not right. We better pay attention here. So if I broke my arm and my arm's in pain, my arm is saying, hey, I need some help. I need some assistance getting put back into place. So pay attention to pain on all the different levels and what it means to you. And I'm going to say that over and over because everything is self perception of how we see through our own lens. Number four is the physical body, the physical plane that we're in, and acknowledging the physical challenges that we have as we age or even as we're younger. Younger people can't do quite the same things that you can do when you're in your 20s or 30s. But you know what? We go through that cycle where we can't do a lot, and then we get to do a lot more, and we're really more confident. We're at the peak of our health, we're at the peak of everything, and then we start declining again. And if you complete that circle of age, you go right back into almost that infancy again, where you're dependent on others. And we just allow yourself that cycle. So, what is the physical condition that your body is in? And can you work with that physical to give you the optimist of what you're working in and how good you can be without doing damage to yourself either? But allowing that cycle of physical to get moving. My grandmother used to say, move it or lose it. I understand now. And I tell myself that every time I walk because I'm bone on my knees. And I go, yeah, I hear you, Grandma. Is move it or lose it. And I choose to move it. How about you? So now number four, that was four. Number five goes here. Five, there we go. Feelings. What are our feelings? Have you heard? I have heard a million times. You're too emotional. You feel too much. You're constantly sitting in your feelings. And when people ask me, what do you teach? I tell them I teach the feels. And that's the only way that I can teach. I'm not book smart, as in I can remember things, dates, times, authors, all that kind of stuff. I just am not. It's not, doesn't, my brain doesn't go there, but I can teach you the feels of things because that's how I learn. I learn through the feels, and the feels to me are so important. Never turn your feels off. Are you happy? Are you sad? How are you feeling emotionally? Tap into all those feelings. Those feelings are so important, and know how you feel, but also know how you project your feelings onto others and how others project to you. Are you picking up other people's feelings, or are you actually sitting in your own feelings? Feelings is a really, really deep one. And honestly, every one of these great teachers, I would spend an entire day or week with because they have so many teachings within themselves. And you could literally write a book just on feelings and just on all of these great teachers. So, what is feelings to you? And how do you interact with feelings? Do you turn them off? Do you run away from them? Or do you walk right into them? And the next one is sex. Yep, sex is one of them. But it doesn't necessarily mean sexual because we are sexual beings. It doesn't mean having actual intercourse sex, but it can also be that relationship with self. Do I enjoy who I am? Can I touch my body and actually enjoy me? Can I say, you know what? I love you. I love who you are. I love every little wrinkle in you. I love everything about you. I love you. And can I sit in the balance of the masculine and the feminine? We each have a masculine and feminine. We each have a young and an old. If you were to look at me through different lenses, you would see a very young Karen, and then you would see a very old Karen. You would see a young man, you would see an old man, you would see me the way I am. There's that masculine and the feminine, and it sits in every one of us in different balances, in different ways. That's all part of sitting within this great teacher of sex. So understand it, explore it, and then get to know what it is for you. Number 7 is honesty. Now, what is honesty? Honesty, how many people tell those little white lies? Oh my gosh, those little white lies. I'll tell you the truth, but you know what? I'll be honest with you. Have you heard that? I'll be honest with you now. Well, what does that mean? They weren't honest with me before? So honesty is actually being able to express yourself in your true form. Express who you are, use your voice for truth. The truth of it is in all honesty, and then bring in the honest. And sometimes the honest can be a little dicey to navigate. What does honesty look for you? Do you ride that gray line? Or let's put a little sample out there. Let's say someone says to you, hey, can you babysit my dogs for me? And you're going to think about it. You don't really want to do it, but you don't want to tell them you don't want to do it. So you go, well, gee, I'm really sorry, but I'm busy that day, or make some excuse that you can't do it. Instead of being honest with them, gee, I'm really sorry, but I really don't want to do that. Maybe you should find someone else. Ooh, can we allow ourselves that honesty to be able to speak honesty without putting somebody down, without being rude or mean, but speaking our truth is honesty. Number 8 is testing. Testing. I'm going to push everything to the limit. Spirit, if I do this, then you need to respond in a certain way, and then I'll know you're listening to me. That's testing. Or even little kids, when you're told, don't touch that hot frying pan, you're going to burn your fingers. And the first thing they do is test that hot frying pan, and they burn their fingers. They're pushing everything to the limit. They're testing. Are you the type of person that just enjoys testing yourself, testing others? Here's a really big challenge. Oh, you know what? I think I can do it. I'm going to test myself and see if I can. Firewalking. Whoa, firewalking scares the death out of me. But I know people who have been afraid and have walked that path anyway and gone, you know what? I'm going to test myself and I'm going to accomplish what it is I'm setting out for. That's an ultimate goal. Maybe down the road, maybe not. Maybe I'll never get there, but it's something that I think about. So, what is the testing? What do you test? And what does testing mean to you? And can you sit in the balance of testing so you don't get hurt? The next one is 9 is victory. Victory, boy, we don't celebrate our victories, do we? If you celebrate your victories, you're telling yourself, you know what, I'm just not worthy. I'm sitting in ego. All those things. Don't brag about it. But sitting in victory, really owning your victories. Darn it, every day. What was your victory today? What was one thing that you did today that you can say? And I don't care if it's something as simple as I got up and got dressed today. If that's all you can do, that's good enough. Do what you can do and don't worry about comparing someone else's victory to your victories. And your victories will get big and they will be tiny and they will be all over the place. But when they happen, acknowledge them because those victories help make up who you are. Celebrate the victories, even the tiny little ones, celebrate them and then get out there and celebrate those big ones too. Dance in the rain and celebrate your victories. Victories are important. Don't hide them. Don't make excuses. I don't have any victories. I've never done anything good. Well, look at you. You survived. You're as old as you are. You've met some challenges and you've walked through them. Victories all around us. Trust that you got them and look for them. Number 10 is confrontation. Well, I can tell you, this is a big one for people because most people do not like confrontation. I can't do confrontation. I don't like people getting angry with me. I don't want to stir the pot. I want to just go with the flow. I want to hide. I don't want to be in the spotlight. Confrontation, if I say this, then all these consequences are going to happen. But what we've done is we've predetermined or estimated what's going to happen. If I speak this to you, I know they're going to respond that way. But is there a chance that they could respond differently? And is it okay for us to confront? Because if something's chewing me up inside and I can't confront you or speak honesty with you about it and what's happening, I'm the one that's suffering inside. So we need to look after our internal self so that we can use our voice. Confrontation can be a very good thing. It's a skill that we need to learn to master without maybe going out there and being blunt, yeah, blah, 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 and being mean to people. We don't have to do that. We can confront people and say, hey, my truth is blah, 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 whatever it happens to be. Speak with neutrality as you're speaking your truth. And that too is confrontation without challenging. And if someone's challenging you back, just take a moment, put your hand up and say, you know what, I can't respond to that at this moment. I'll respond to you when I've had a chance to digest it. And then we can come back in neutral territory and have this conversation again. Now you're taking charge, and then you can have that conversation where you can confront. That's where the talking sticks come in, but that's a teaching of a different kind. Anyway, this is the first 10. I'm going to actually end this video now so I can do the next 10 in another video. And this is Karen, Grandmother Dances in the Night Skies. Go ahead and like, subscribe, make any comments if it resonates with you, if it doesn't resonate with you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. And watch for my next video. Okay, take care. Aho.